This episode of The Worst Idea of All Time is sponsored by dollarshaveclub.com. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/worst idea.
You're going to play that dastardly intro again?
Ow! This movie's still fine.
Coley pasta.
One of them dies, that goes screw. One of them's a hottie, his name is Jay. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
You forget that films are supposed to have a point.
And here it is. It is the German version of the movie, so the titles aren't in English, but this is We Are Your Friends with no dialogue. Only background audio foley and music cues. I also put up a subtitle track. I just downloaded one, so there might be some mistakes, on the off chance that you actually want to watch it. For a movie whose only memorable parts to watch. For movies only memorable parts, sorry, I'm reading from a screen that is literally 4 meters away. For movies only memorable parts are the music. The second act is mostly just people sitting and talking with nothing else going on. Writes listener Eric Falsch, who kindly went to a tremendous amount of trouble. This is several months ago now, Tim. And re-edited and graded We Are Your Friends to turn it into sort of a genuine art house movie.
Black and white.
Yeah, black and white.
An entire monochrome feature film with scarce dialogue.
No dialogues.
It was quite an experience. Well, you say that.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, Kind Eric, as he will forever be known on the podcast, Kind Eric included some choice cuts for us. So out of nowhere, for example, when James Reed from The Feelers gifts the MacBook
I may have
Pro,
gotten a little sentimental.
the dialogue comes in out of nowhere, and it's...
There were a few...
It was akin to how I feel the audience must have felt going to see The Wizard of Oz at the big screen, where everything's in black and white, and suddenly, you open the gates and we're looking at Oz, and colour envelops the cinema, and it's like, oh my God, I forgot this was possible.
There's a lot of beautiful little flourishes. So first of all, I'd like to say to you, Eric, a huge thank you. Kind Eric. And thank you so much for taking the time to do this and send it to us. And then also ensure that we followed through. Like, because the next message is a link to the Google Drive where he'd uploaded the file. And then like a month later, after we'd said that we would watch it, he was like, hey guys, I think you mentioned you might watch this. Just so you know, it's taking up a lot of space on my Google Drive. So if you're going to, please do it. I downloaded it. It took us several months, but here we are. And what welcome respite from the, the ordinary, colourful clusterfuck that is a screening of We Are Your Friends. For this, our 55th watch, truly a breath of fresh air.
It was amazing. It really was amazing. It was so much more palatable because it was like watching a different film. And, look, we've got to say this up top. Full credit to those Foley artists on this film. A lot of footsteps, a lot of sloshing in the pool. The crashing waves, they did their work.
Well, I felt like we learned quite a lot as well about, what they would record just through booms or radio mics, I guess. There's a lot of doors shutting in a movie. I always assumed that would be a separate sound effect. But
some of them were and some of them weren't.
Some of them sometimes they use a genuine door slamming from, the scene, and then other times they just dub in a different door slamming.
What Guy's talking about is all premised on, like, I was scratching my head the whole time going, how the fuck has Kind Eric done this? How has he pulled this off? How do you scrub all the dialogue out of a film but keep all of the sound effects and soundtrack? Like, I don't understand. And I've got a theory about it, but I don't know if it's true or not. So we're sort of basing it off of that.
Ahead.
Well, I think what's happened is on like a Blu-ray release of a film, there's different language tracks, right? So you can probably take all of them off somehow if you can kind of crack open that Blu-ray, and then you're just left with the sound effects and the soundtrack. But then there were like German versions of one of the songs. Well, I don't know.
No. The songs were the same.
Well, I don't know. One of them was in German. I've never noticed there being a German song before. But obviously, the songs really come to the fore when there is no dialogue for them to hide behind.
Yeah, another one of the things Eric did, which was even more Wizard of Oz, like...
Thank you, guys, computer.
Hey, sick.
Idiot.
I've got an email. Is I downloaded that, I would say 5 years ago, and I literally have no idea how to turn it off.
You've got mail sound effect. Is it not some Mac thing? Is that something you set up?
I put that in as a plugin, and I cannot for the life of me figure out what to do. But so at the very end when Cole plays Cole's song, and somehow all of these PCP-addled teens go wild in their American Apparel parking lot, all of the memories, all the sound effects that he drew from that he recorded on his shitty Samsung S3 or whatever, would come up in colour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's these minor details which truly set, a kind Eric apart from a regular Eric.
What it shows you is Eric was really thinking of the boys when he was doing this, This wasn't for anyone, this wasn't just for any old person. This was specifically for the boys. The boys are you and I.
Yeah. I'd love to know how labour intensive it was. I mean,
he said he spent several hours on it, and I believe him. Wholeheartedly.
I reckon it was longer.
Yeah, I think so too.
He sort of deliberately understated so that we wouldn't be like, this guy's a maniac. But we would never say that about Kind Eric.
Oh,
there's only one
goddamn
word,
lunatic.
There's only one
kind
word
Eric.
for Eric.
Kind.
Man, I mean, it's just a different film. All the characters come across much better when you don't hear their thoughts. I didn't resent anyone. I don't resent anyone.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, I know. Hey, what was interesting is, I don't know if this was a decision that Kind
still
Eric
felt
made
long.
Yeah, that's for sure. But old Paige's speech was left in, which I loved. So it's just like music all my life.
Yeah.
It was good.
I do not rely on anything that's in my life. I do not rely on anything that is not concrete.
But then that was a good page. All of the text that came up was in German.
Which made me feel right at home.
Yeah, because you're used to that German rip when I'm not with you, eh?
Yeah, I deleted all the movies off my computer to free up some space and accidentally included We Are Your Friends.
Wow, shit happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I always have to rent a copy legally.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
And play it on my MacBook Air, which has a Blu-ray or a DVD drive, obviously. It
always happens to be a German version.
Every single time. Well, the only video stores that are still operating are German run.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're efficient. And also, they make you sign a contract when whenever everyone signed up with them in the 90s or whatever, and they're binding. They are very difficult to get out of.
You're not wrong. Except that you are completely wrong.
Never wrong.
This film this week was it was kind of like watching a different... Well, it was. It's a whole different movie-going experience.
I articulated it as if you were to see it, it's like if you're in an art gallery and you walk into a room and they're playing a black and white film with real scant audio.
Yeah.
And there's two other people in there sitting down like they know what's happening. And then you're like, oh yeah, I'll fucking go toe-to-toe with you guys. And you sit down and watch it for 10 minutes. And you're like, this is super boring.
It was exactly what this was. Although not boring for us because we had such unique context for what we were watching.
We wanted to play this in a movie theater.
Yeah, we tried to get the rights cleared with the appropriate authorities, but they were like, "Nah, dudes, no way, absolutely not. You're not playing some altered version of it to a crowd and selling tickets for that." We're like, "We'll give you money." And they're like, "Don't. You're not allowed to." But I mean, this is a work of art. It's a tremendous work of art, and I think it's a labor of love from Kind Eric. And I think that your analogy of the sort of art gallery experience is perfect because it was like, you always get those very pretentious black and white. It was probably shot on 35mm needlessly. And it's just got soundscape but no dialogue. Like this exactly was that thing. But when you have the context of what the original source material is, it's actually kind of cool.
In a way, this is, that sort of pretension is, I guess, probably closer to the movie that Maximum and Megan set out to make.
What I want to ask you is this, though, Guy. This is a hard question to answer because it's a hypothetical, but if you watched this version first versus the actual movie first, like, which one do you think is better? Because I'm sort of leaning towards the black and white one. It might be coloured by the fact I've seen the other one 50...
no, it's not coloured actually, Tim. It's black and white.
Lol. Well, it is coloured by the colour version.
I think if I saw this first, I would be frustrated because I would want to know some of what's happening.
That's art, baby. You know what I mean? That's art. Art is about
Once you
asking the question
once you make
who,
a
what,
piece
where,
of
why, and how. Oh, that's journalism.
Like, yeah. Well, that's like learning how to read or something, and when you're 4. Anyway,
That sounds right.
No, I think like art. Once you make something and you put it out into the world, that's no longer yours. That's for anyone to take from it what they will. And there's certainly more scope and opportunity as an audience member to draw your own conclusions from the black and white.
It's like seeing a horror movie, right? Where if you don't see the monster, it's always way scarier in your head because it will always be the scariest version of your own personal take on it. And then when they show you, it's like, oh, okay. That's kind of terrifying, but less than what I thought.
Are there any instances where the monster that the movie machines or that the movie makers could show you that you were like, okay, do you know what? Full credit to you. That is more terrifying.
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm not a huge horror guy. I'm thinking Stranger Things. You know what one is the perfect example of it, though, is what was that Alien movie with, what's his name? The anti-Semite. Mel Gibson. Signs, I think it's called. Oh. And they show the alien at some, like, up until the point where they show it, it's quite terrifying from memory. I can't even remember if I've seen it. I must have seen it at some point. You've got these big crop circles, these big symbols. There's a little girl, I think, who's kind of seeing them or communicating with them or something. And I think a couple of times you sort of see them shoot around a corner or something, a little shadow of them, which is always quite terrifying, just out of your sight. And then you actually see them, you're like, oh, that's the fucking dude in a costume, isn't it? You know? You've blown it. You had a nice little movie going there, Mel, and you've blown it.
That's not Mel, that's M. Night.
Shamalama ding dong.
You've been Shyamalan. Is that from something?
I don't know. Probably.
It must be.
The way you said it suggested that it was.
Yeah. Well, I just always think,
Hey,
if something in your life goes the way that you didn't expect it to, that's when you've been Shyamalan.
Here's a fun question. What would the M. Night Shyamalan ending of We Are Your Friends be? Don't say Squirrel was dead the whole time, because that's already in a movie.
No, it's that Squirrel faked his own death to get out of the friend group.
But
which
then,
I think we've speculated before.
Yeah, we have. Well, you've frequently put forward the fact that Santeria... Oh, no, that's you saying that he actually killed himself.
Well, it could be either. But it's certainly the tipping point. That was an interesting one today because usually I started singing Santeria because I was like ready for them to be singing Santeria.
They were not
singing. And then there's just the sound of water gently lapping and 4 boys hugging.
Yeah.
Obviously you can't hear the boys hugging.
So peaceful,
but if you could, it would sound like this.
And
is that water?
Yeah, it was
that sounded scary.
Slushy water.
Sounded like a ghost. The ghost of Squirrel!
I reckon it would be that Paige Harrell had instigated a very complex scenario where he was he had destroyed the friend group by he made them turn on each other using different tools, right?
Yeah.
So he had got Johnny Depp to get incredibly competitive at work with the other boys and made him chase a bonus or something. He performed psychological...
Not a bonus, a literal bone.
A bone.
Yeah.
Only one person there can get the bone.
Well, there's only one bone.
Spirit wants the bone. So he's chasing the bone. Zac is under psychological warfare by Paige Harrell by taking him to these clients' houses and ripping them off while he's there, and it's playing with his sense of empathy, and he feels very sorry for these people, and he can't reconcile the fact that this is what he does for a job now. And then with Jarhead, he just fucking fights him periodically because he knows he's such a hothead.
Paige does.
Yeah.
What about Squirrel? Squirrel, he just changed to his computer because he's got a great head for science.
No, this is why Squirrel had to die, right? Because Squirrel saw what was happening. That's why he tried to get out. So, when they have the speech at the sushi bar where he's like, I'm looking for other jobs, Paige had fucking wired them for sound. He was listening to them. So he found out that Squirrel was about to bail, and he offed him.
This is less like a twist and more like a sort of conspiratorial...
That's M. Night Shyamalan. This is bag.
Except
he's usually a little more supernatural, I think. But.
Yeah, his bag is always...
All right, and Paige is a vampire. There you go. Will that do?
Yeah, that's great. Paige is a vampire? Are you kidding me? If I was the marketing team behind We Are Your Friends, I would have put that front and center.
Yeah, it'd be good, actually. It'd be like, hey, do you remember that movie that you loved with all the vampires? What was it called again?
Dracula.
What was it called? No, the fucking teenage one.
Teenage Vampire?
Jesus, how quickly we forget, eh? That franchise was fucking huge.
What was it?
Come on, Matt. The movies. There was like 3 of them. They were based on the books.
Oh!
Bloody...
Twilight?
I kept thinking Daylight. It's like, it's not called Daylight, Twilight.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, hey, you remember Daylight? I mean, Twilight.
They were vampires, eh?
Yeah, they were. And werewolves.
Yeah.
They're like,
God.
hey, you remember Twilight? Well, this one's got Zac Efron in it. You'll love Zac Efron, and you'll love those
Didn't we
vampires
all
being
think
crazy
that-
for him.
Was there any
We
resurgence of vampires beyond the Twilight franchise?
Well, I mean, we had Buffy.
Yeah, but that was before Twilight.
Yeah. Oh, you mean after Twilight? Not that I know of. Not that I can think. Nah.
That's
I think
crazy.
there were a couple bites at the apple by different franchises.
There was
to try and get in.
TVs did it.
Yeah.
TV shows.
Okay. Oh no, there's more zombies because there was iZombie and
No, there was like True Blood or something. That sounds like a vampire
True Blood
show.
was a vampire show. You did right, actually.
You put the word blood in the title, you better have a
Starring
vampire.
NZ Zone Anna Paquin. Can we still claim her?
I mean, I don't know that you and I can, but the
Yeah.
country of New Zealand,
She's been gone a long time.
I know, but we get so few of these things that we really have to hold them.
She might be an
close.
American citizen now as well, because I think she's married to that lovely fella from the show.
A pasteurized American citizen.
Yeah, I believe that's the term. You got to get in a spa pool and then jump in icy water, and then a priest says you are now American.
When's the last time you poured yourself a nice cold glass of milk?
Not as far away back as you would think. Probably a week.
A week?
Yeah. I had a nice juicy 2 liters in the fridge. I was like, yeah, hard out.
What could possibly lead you to have a hankering for a chilly glass of milk?
I'm assuming calcium deficiency.
I guess. So your body was just aching out for...
I was going, I need the good stuff
fucking
straight from a
It's
cow.
disgusting.
You have milk in stuff. Why
Straight
can't you
from the
just have
cow
milk?
titty. I don't know, you have lots of stuff in stuff. You know, I don't just have cumin seeds or whatever, or cumin, or fuck some other spice.
See, this is the problem. You don't
Oh,
cook,
man.
guy.
No, I don't.
Maybe if you did, you would normalize my drinking of milk.
I
a
don't
little
think
more.
someone who likes to cook meals for themselves in their house is, I don't think there's necessarily a positive correlation between that and just drinking milk by
How
itself.
would you know? How would you know, guy? Because you're not in either camp.
I used to drink a lot of chalky milk. That's still weird.
Chalky milk. Nothing weird about chalky milk. That's effectively, Coca-Cola without the fizz.
No, it is weird.
Why?
Because it's still from a cow.
The chalky milk? Yeah.
Banana milk's weird.
Banana milk is bizarre. Doesn't taste like bananas. The banana flavor it's like chicken flavored shit. It's like, that doesn't taste like the thing you're purporting it to be.
So I was staying with a friend of the podcast, Carlo Ritchie,
Yes.
last week, and he was growing some herbs, and he was growing a pineapple sage. And he'd make me go out. He made me do it 3 times while I was staying there. You go out and you rub your fingers on one of the leaves of the pineapple sage, and you bring them to your nose and you smell them. And it smells like, that is the flavor and smell they use for candy pineapple.
Wow. Like
And it's
pineapple
like-
lumps and stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Speaking of New Zealand classics,
that is a classic.
pineapple lumps.
My lumps, my lovely pineapple lumps. Check it out. The Pineapple Lumps advertising team really missed a trick then. Do you remember when the Black Eyed Peas released a song called Let's Get Retarded?
Yeah, man. I mean, they really they snuck a bass with that one, didn't they?
How? How could you possibly? Let's get stupid.
I was going to say it was a different time. Wasn't really.
No,
Wasn't that long ago.
I think they got vaguely called to account for that.
Not enough. It's that Fergie, man. I tell you what, the Black Eyed Peas had some great songs without Fergie. And I've got a feeling Fergie's got some great songs without the Black Eyed Peas. They're like in one of those destructive relationships you see that your friends in sometimes. You're like, you know what? She's fine. He's all right. But when they get together, oh my God, they bring out the worst in each other, don't they?
They really do.
But it was a lot of albums worth of bad relationship.
They got a lot of money from it as well.
Huge amount. Will.i.am's the problem, I think.
Will I Am.
That guy is an idiot.
Is
I'm
he?
gonna put that on the record.
Really?
He's a fucking nut bar.
What? Why?
He makes real dumb songs and like calls himself a visionary because he rebrands smartwatches and shit.
Fuck, man. More power to him. That's,
struck me as a fucking moron. As long as I've seen him
you know what?
out in the world.
If I had that sort of platform, I would also call myself a visionary. I'm doing it with less of a platform.
You're calling yourself a visionary?
Yeah.
God, good on you.
Every other
God bless
moment.
you.
Oh, man.
No, I got no beef with Will.i.am. I just think he's an idiot.
That's fair enough.
You know?
What was your shining light this week, Tim?
My black and white shining light was... Well, to be honest, it was hearing Paige give the speech because we hadn't had dialogue up until then. Except Jahed said something, and I was trying to remember what it was, but it was through music.
No, there's a great bit of dialogue snuck through when Jahed, I'm going to murder that cheese stick motherfucker on top of the hill, and his echo goes into the valley.
It wasn't that bit.
But then we heard the echo.
Yeah, the echo was there without the first bit. That was a treat. Not my shining light. My shining light was... What really put it over the top for me is just like, boom, I'm hearing talking, boom, the important talking, it's Paige talking, and boom, 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 German titles, German text.
Paige talking, German text,
Loved,
black and white.
Loved all of it.
Beautiful silence afterwards.
Loved all of it.
That is a good time.
It's real cool. How about you?
I really enjoyed...
Guy Montgomery?
I really enjoyed the splashing noise when Jahed tackled Hillary Clinton into the looking pool.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
That's a weird sentence, eh?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the splashing noise when Jahed tackled Hillary Clinton into the looking pool.
There's so much of this podcast, which if you take it out of its context, it barely
the
makes
whole
sense
thing is
in there.
drivel, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. We shouldn't be doing it anymore. I'll tell you that for free. If I've got one piece of advice to the two of us, it's don't do it anymore.
5 more screenings.
It's not that many.
5 screenings till freedom.
Good God. Have you put your mind there yet? Thinking about a post-worst idea time?
Not quite. I know that I will be very grateful to be, unshackled from this great and grave responsibility that we have thrust upon ourselves. But I also know that in a lifestyle that affords very few sort of rock solid responsibilities or events, or sort of just that I will miss having
constant.
Yeah, having some sort of weekly anchor.
Yeah. Now you are a boy adrift.
Adrift.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Unless I go to some cool bar called Drift and it's all made of driftwood.
You could start it.
And it's floating. No, I'm not going to start a bar. It's too much work.
Yeah. God, I've just seen people lose so much money.
Have you?
From a far distance, yeah.
How far?
Very far back.
Like 2Ks?
Do you want me to move some stuff around? You look awkward.
No, I look cool and casual.
Yeah, what you can't see, listener, is that guy's he's having to crook his neck and contort his body to adjust for very short.
They think I'm a
headphone cable.
visionary. That you don't need to paint a picture of my awkward body position.
Maybe it's a visionary body position.
Nah,
That's the thing. You got to market better, man.
I'm in it. This is not going to take off. What I'm doing right now.
Are you proud of what we've accomplished through this podcast?
Yeah, I tell you, Tim, I'm feeling very positive right now.
Yeah, that's good.
And I was doing some reflecting in some of the quieter moments of the film, namely, I think 75% of it. And I am proud of what we've accomplished and this journey we've been on, and all of our co-travelers who've come along for the ride.
It truly has taken up a lot of our lives now. Like, this thing has existed for 1/10 of my life that I've been alive. And in terms of adult life, way more as a fraction. When you're an adult, 18, so what's that, 12 years? A quarter of that I've been doing this podcast.
Do you feel that as you grow older, that you're, I guess, you're more adult? Do you think that the significance of the last 3 years is more significant than the 3 years that preceded that? Or do you think that that's an impossible thing to judge, because the 3 years before that obviously informed the 3 years after that?
It's a tricky question.
The last 3 years of your life have probably been the most significant.
No, I don't think so.
The first three.
The first three of all of them. 0 to 3.
Wow.
You reckon?
If we can even go back further than then, like to your conception, obviously that was the real beginning.
Yeah, that's true. That one was important. That was an important moment.
Does that mean you were the best sperm?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is what that means, right? I mean, by what metric? You were the one that got in, that fertilized.
Fastest doesn't always mean best, unless you're in a running race.
Sperm's only got one job, and that's it. So, yeah, you're the best one. You're the best around.
Hey, congrats, my dude.
Thank you. And same to you also.
Wow.
And to you listening also.
Yeah. All powerful sperms.
Every one of us. But, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting just how much of this podcast there is. Too much, I think.
It's a huge
But I guess
wall
we can
of
quibble over that.
fucking audio.
Yeah, it is. And it's you know, it's getting to the point now when you have to watch a black and white silent version of the film just to feel something that you go, maybe it's damaged us. Maybe it wasn't all good.
I think,
maybe it wasn't
do you
a
know
good
what?
thing.
I think due to our sunny disposition, which, I mean, obviously is a recklessly forgetful thing to say when we have an entire season of Sex and the City 2 out there in the public sphere. But, you know, I like to think that we came out on top. That I don't think I don't think it has damaged us. I think it's made us stronger.
Actually, with you framing it in that way, because I used to think we should have stopped after season 2, but you're right. I think we needed this.
Palate cleanse.
It wasn't a palate cleanse per se. It was more of, you know, it's a 3-game series, and we fucking got slaughtered in that second game. We were well up on that first match. It was good. We played really well, I think. Really, really well.
Yeah.
And then, look, home team advantage. We went to the girls, and the girls whipped us week in, week out. We had a strong start.
Pride comes before the fall.
Those 2 second quarters against Sex and the City, like, it was a bloodbath out there, and we were on the receiving end. And then I feel like this third game, the tiebreaker, I feel like we've edged ahead.
It's
been tight, but I think we're ahead.
I like to think so too. Have you considered a life post worst idea? What are you gonna do with all the excess time?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm a big believer that time expands or contracts to fit anything in that you got going on, you know. So I'll probably just do nothing with it, which is sad but accurate.
Well, I guess that is a good question then. Is this more valuable than you just sitting quietly in a room for the same amount of time it takes to record a podcast?
Absolutely, isn't it? Undeniably so.
How so?
Well, because this is going out to the world. We're sharing it with wonderful people.
Sharing something doesn't make it good, Tim.
I think it does. That's where we will disagree. Your time is more valuable if it's spent doing something other people can enjoy. And it doesn't even really matter how many people you're talking about, whether it's one other person or 2 or 1,000 or whatever. If you can make your time count for someone else, it is infinitely a better use of your time. You know what I'm saying?
So
G?
long as you're already happy, presumably.
Nah, you can do it at your own expense. I think this podcast is testament to that.
Well, yeah, I don't really have an argument against it. It's good. This is a nice. I feel we've. I mean, this black and white moment has given us there's a nice reflective tone to what's happening here.
Yeah, I think we've slowed
next week
down the pace.
we'll be trudging again.
I tell you what might be part of it as well. The substances in Guy Montgomery and Tim Batt's bodies right now is just breakfast. That's it. There's been no beers or anything. Nothing going on.
Not that there ordinarily would be.
Well, there's at least usually a beer or 2 in the tum-tum by this point.
They say change is as good as a holiday.
So, drinks up?
Nah. So, you know.
Oh, you're saying the sobriety is the holiday that we've been seeking.
Well, and the screening.
Well, that's true. It was quite a different film. One question I do have for you, though, Guy Montgomery, is what's in that MacBook Pro box? Which is a question we will answer after this message from our sponsors. This movie's still fine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this episode of The Worst Idea of All Time is brought to you by DollarShaveClub.com. DollarShaveClub.com have changed the game of shaving. You know all those other shitty razor companies that are out there charging you an arm and a fucking leg just to look like a classy gentleman? Well, no more. Their stranglehold over the industry of making men look good is over. Because we got one of them disruptors in the hood now, and it's dollarshaveclub.com. They're awesome. They've got high quality blades and other products as well now. They've been so successful with getting the word out there that they have ventured into other bathroom products, predominantly for men, but maybe for ladies too.
And alternative advertising means, like choosing us, the humble worst idea of all time, to spread the good word of dollarshaveclub.com. Moreover, we have a special deal for you. If you visit the website dollarshaveclub.com/worst idea.
You got it. You can sign up right now for $5 and get in on this. Here's your chance to see why over 3 million members like myself and Guy Montgomery love Dollar Shave Club. Right now, you can get your first month for the club for just $5, and after that, it's just a few bucks a month. DollarShaveClub.com is so confident in the quality and value of all their products, there's no long-term commitment or any hidden fees. There's no reason not to join. Just join, you dummies. Get yours at dollarshaveclub.com/worst idea. It makes us look good too. That's dollarshaveclub.com/worst idea.
Ow!
This movie's still fine.
5, 6, 7, 8. Getting sentimental with James Reed.
Yeah.
Fishing for Lisa. And the one that I run is the. I thought you're my reason to live. I thought you're my reason to live. That's all it is, baby. The Feelers, Super System, on CD with a note saying, holy shit, did you know this band existed? The lead singer has almost exactly the same name as me.
That would be such a vanity gift, wouldn't it? And I love that it then fulfills the premise of being a self-serving gift. It's like, hey, I was Googling myself and I came up with this weird result of a Kiwi rock band.
Yeah.
Called The Feelers.
Because he looked up James Reed spelt his way. And because he
got through so many results.
He's
he's doing this every day.
Well, no, because he's such he's a drunk sellout cashing a check. Google said, do you mean James Reed, R-E-I-D? Fuck, imagine being a celebrity and searching your own name and Google telling you that there's another person with your name with an alternative spelling who Google thinks it's more likely you're researching. That's what James Reed experienced.
How embarrassing for him.
Punishingly so. He's got a fragile ego. We know this. We've seen it on display.
I mean, the good thing is that Zaccoli, as the film proves, has got a Discman. Probably with anti-shock technology, up to 15 seconds.
That is horse shit. That anti-shock stuff was a fucking... that was a rort.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was, Tim.
Did you have a Discman?
How come when my family would drive, somewhere for a holiday and I'd be listening to my Discman, if we'd go over a gravel road, I'd turn on my anti-shock. You think the CD inside of the Discman knew it? You think Shania Twain's Come On Over suddenly was skip-free?
That's what you're listening to on your family trips?
First CD I ever owned, bitch.
Don't get bitch with me. Don't get preemptively aggressive at me for an insult that is probably coming.
I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with Big Discman.
Well, what kind of Discman did you have? I think that's the pertinent question. Because I had a Sony, and from memory, the anti-shock worked pretty good.
I think it was a JVC.
Well, that's where you've gone
covered
wrong.
in stickers from skateboard and surf shops where I wouldn't buy any equipment to skateboard or surf.
No, but you wanted to let everyone know that you were thinking about it. You were thinking about getting into these things, and you wanted the world to know.
Were stickers as good as money back in your day?
Better than.
Yeah.
I mean, money you can have and swap it for stuff, but stickers is a communication to the world saying, look out, everyone, I'm thinking about getting into surf and skate.
Used to be, the New Zealand I grew up in, you could buy, you could put a deposit on your first house, 2 bedrooms, sort of inner city suburb, 3-4 stickers.
Yeah.
Now, you need like
$1 million.
$200 million. Anyway, so he gave them the Feelers' best known album. Pressure Man? No, Super System. With Pressure Man on it. Great song too. And Zaccoli just went away and listened to it, and then he came back. He's like, this is so far outside my ordinary tastes. I don't know why you'd give me the CD.
Broaden your horizons.
That's right.
It's what James Reed was all about. And he does talk about that a little bit in the movie. He's like, your problem is you don't listen.
Good sound effect.
You know what I'm talking about. No one else does.
That clap came through loud and clear.
Yeah. Because it's, obviously a sound effect. It's weird, you guys. It's a tricky thing to explain because everything that's been added to the film as a sound effect was there and everything that's dialogue wasn't. So it was interesting to get a little peek of something like a clap because they had obviously added it later and it punctured through. Look, at this point, we are so deep inside of this fucking thing. We're in this tiny little bubble. It's hard to describe what's in there, It's like going through that time tunnel in Interstellar.
Still haven't seen that film.
Have you not seen it? I didn't know that. Oh, shit, we should watch that instead.
No, it's too late. I get so... I think I've spoken about this before. I haven't seen a lot of sort of what are considered to be pretty iconic films.
Sure.
And, I get so chastised for it. What, you watch...
Oh, that's fucked, man.
We Are Your Friends 55 times, but you ain't got time to see E.T.?
Go to hell. Anyone who lords stuff like that over other people can go to hell. Be it music, art, books, films, whatever. Don't look... Just be like... Hey, it's cool, it's good. If you have the inclination and time, maybe check it out. Don't be like, I can't believe you haven't seen 2001: A Space Odyssey. Go fuck yourself. Don't weaponize that
so
against
good.
people.
That voice you did
Sick
is
of
the
that
voice
shit.
of anyone who you've ever disagreed with ever.
It is.
And then I said a very normal and well-reasoned thing, and then they said, oh my God.
Exactly. They all sound like that. But it's true. It's insecure people weaponizing their experiences to try and make other people feel small, and I won't put up with it. It's essentially bullying.
Rest assured, Tim, I've not seen Interstellar. I've not seen...
Hey, well, you know what? If you've got the time and inclination sometime, maybe you should check it out.
Yeah, I heard it's a great film.
Well, I enjoyed it. Not everyone loved it.
You loved it.
Yeah, man. Partially for the soundtrack, though. Shit is haunting.
You say the soundtrack?
Trek. Wow, Kiwi accent, I don't know.
Trek.
Not known for rounded vowels, are we?
Track.
What are you doing now? What are we up to?
Trek.
What's happening?
Trek.
You're just saying the word Trek.
Trek.
Okay, very good. Righto. Hey, listen. You know what else I want to get to the bottom of in this episode?
Trek.
What happened in that bathroom?
Trek.
Someone just trekked in some mud or something on their boots?
Trek.
They'd been for a trek, and then they trek. Do you say trek or trekked in mud?
Trek.
So someone had been for a trek, and they trekked in some mud into the bathroom.
Trek.
Right, okay. And so it's just mud, essentially.
Trek.
Which I think that Johnny Depp actually confused for human excretion?
Trek.
That's what was really there, but he thought it was poo. And it's kind of like, it's just all over the floor, and Johnny Depp's like, oh man, this is disgusting. But in actual fact, it was just someone who went for a...
You know why Johnny Depp's unfamiliar with what human...
What the fuck, man? I see you up for a real one, and you move on at that point? God damn it, guy. We used to be on the same team here, man. We've got to get our shit together. We got 5 more of these to go, man.
I was just trying to tell you that...
You got to be a team player in this. This is hard. You know this.
Johnny Depp doesn't have enough fibre in his diet. He hadn't taken a shit for 3 years. He's forgotten what the stuff looks like.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Do you know, if he hasn't taken a shit for 3 years and he's still alive, I think the opposite is true. He isn't unhealthy. He is so healthy that his body has found a way to use every atom that is put into him. There is no waste product anymore.
Do you any sleeps?
No. No, I don't.
If you had it your way, would you sleep?
Absolutely not. Never. Nah.
Who do you think sleep is for?
The weak. It's actually for everyone, but I wish it wasn't.
Fuck, I love to sleep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bit of kip.
Yeah.
But think of all the shit you could get done if you weren't sleeping.
I'm not doing anything in the day at the moment anyway.
You could get a play if you didn't need to sleep, you could get a PlayStation then and get away with it. You know?
Nah,
Nice little
I'd
PS4.
sooner sleep than play PS4.
Imagine if playing PlayStation or whatever was equivalent to sleep. Like your
Well, there
brain
is a sense-
did the same kind of thing.
When you go to sleep, your brain beams up the old projector and starts showing you
yeah, that's true.
shit that you're up to in a different world that
Apparently-
doesn't actually have any bearing on the world that you inhabit.
Apparently, we still don't have a good grasp on why we have to sleep. Like the scientists don't understand it yet, guy.
It's big bed.
Big bed, you reckon?
Yeah, man.
Fuck. We didn't actually sleep beforehand, and
Yeah.
then the mattress company started popping
Sleepy
up.
head. Oh, your head's looking so sleep.
Hey, I'm Mr. Seeley. Oh, you look tired.
You're looking mighty tired, Mr.
Man, I would believe that because mattresses are fucking expensive, and this sounds like it's ramping up to another podcast ad. It isn't. There's no big reveal that we've got one of them fancy mattress companies on. I'm just saying, the mattress prices vary so much in cost that I think there's something fucky about that industry too. Maybe they are forcing all of us to sleep, I wouldn't be
Maybe they're
surprised.
expensive to manufacture. I don't know how much anything costs to make or how difficult it is. If you were given all the raw materials to make a mattress, Tim,
How raw are we talking?
like foam or fucking whatever,
Well, okay, so there's springs in there. Are the springs sprung, or is it just like a rod of metal?
you're given everything. None of it's assembled,
Right.
and they're like, "Hey, here's everything it actually requires to make a mattress.
Yeah.
Have at it."
Yeah.
A, how long does it take for you to assemble your version of a mattress?
Yeah.
And B, how sleepable is that mattress?
Not sleepable, eh? It would take such a long time to get such a bad result.
That's the thing, you can't sleep until the mattress is made.
Oh, crippling. Fuck. And you would get, the more tired you got, the worse you would get at it.
Yeah,
You'd just die, wouldn't you?
You'd sleep on this, like you'd sleep on the floor, or whatever, on some wretched foam and spring contraption. You wake up, you'd have a horrible sore back, and you'd be like, "Oh, I've really got to fix this mattress so I can get a good night's sleep." And then all that drives you is just the desire to finally finish this mattress.
Do you think a lack of sleep is what's, underpinning a lot of what's wrong with the world at the moment? Do you think we used to sleep more? Do you think everyone was just getting a better kip?
I think that I think phones in bed has certainly disrupted some sleeping habits.
Phones in bed.
I wake up and see how long I can go without checking my phone. I don't have it in my bed. It's in the room. Like I've got to get up and go and get
It's
it.
disgusting that you have to, but good that you're doing that.
It's crazy. It's like I've got my Kindle, so I'll be reading or whatever. And then after like 10 or 15 minutes, sometimes longer if I'm really immersed in the book, I'll be like, I have to know! And I go, check. It's fucking crazy.
It's terrible.
That's an addiction.
Yeah, it is. We're all on it.
First thing that I'm going to do when this podcast finishes, Tim,
Go for a run.
check my phone.
Yeah, of course you will. Which actually might be right now.
Oh, sick. I wonder what's happening.
I feel like the movie didn't quite get its dues this week, but it's because it's been quite hard to articulate the experience that Guy and I have been through, seeing a black and white dialogue-free version of We Are Your Friends. It's been really wonderful. Kind Derek, I can't thank you enough for this gift that you've given us. And look, all I want to say is thank you, really. That's it.
Sweet, kind baby Eric. Your beautiful teeth. Oh, I want to brush them so bad.
Thank you also to dollarshaveclub.com. dollarshaveclub.com/worst idea to get all that stuff. And we're sorry for being gross at the end with that baby in the teeth. And
Hey, someone liked my photo on Instagram.
This movie's still fine.
Collie, pasta.
One of them dies, that guy's screw. One of them's a hottie, his name is Jay. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
You forget that films are supposed to have a point.